ever wondered why your picking speed hits a wall no matter how much you practice? You've probably been told, just practice more. But what you really need is to practice more efficiently. And that's why today I'm going to show you an awesome alternate picked lick to train your fingers and use in your solos right away, 2 hidden mistakes that you'll need to avoid in your picking technique that wreck speed, and a simple step-by-step progression to finally break through that speed wall and play any picking lick fast and clean like this. Licks like this can be really scary, so where do we start? Well, here is a shape that you already know, and we're in A minor, so this will be the 5th fret, and it goes like this. So let's start with the top 2 notes of that, and I'm going to add this note in here, fret 7, which is the 2nd. So we have these 3 notes. This is Yngwie Malmsteen, so we're going to play a pattern which is named after him, and it sounds like this. And it goes like this. We play the top note, then we play the bottom note, and we go to the top and back down again. So it's going to go 8, 5, 7, 8, 7, 5. Okay, that's the full pattern. It's a pattern of 6 notes, and we're alternating everything. It's strictly down, up, down, up, down, up. By the way, if you already know this pattern, you can also try the Yngwie pattern in reverse, which sounds like this. That's called the reverse Yngwie. So this pattern already sounds really cool if I play it fast. I will show exactly how to build that speed, but first we need to make this sound less like an exercise and more like an actual shred lick. And there's 2 easy ways to do that. First way is to move it around like this. And that's basically where I'm keeping the pattern the same, but I'm moving along the scale along 1 string. And the second way to power this pattern up is to use it like this. Slower. So here I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm taking groups of 3 notes from 3 note per string scale shape, which looks like this. And I'm basically superimposing the pattern across the strings. So before we can go into the full final lick and start building the speed, I need to make sure that you're avoiding these 2 deadly mistakes which can slow you down or just make you sound horrible even if you can play it fast. And the first mistake is excessive tension. So if you grip the pick too tightly, your fingers and wrist will cramp up and you won't be able to play it very fast, or you certainly won't be able to have any endurance when playing it very fast. So to fix this, firstly, make sure that you're using the right kind of pick. We need a thick pick with a sharp tip, like a Jazz 3. And then you want to make sure that in the first place you're holding the pick right. So you want to hold the pick against the side of your first finger with your thumb, like that. If you're holding the pick with your fingertips, you're not really going to have much control over what's going on. And then only let a fairly small amount of the pick through, so you're holding it very close to your fingertips. This is important because imagine trying to write with a pen and you're holding the pen all the way up here. It's very hard. And the principle is the same with a pick. You want to hold it close to the tip. And then you want to hold it firm enough so that it doesn't move in your hand, but no firmer than that. So make sure that the picking motion is coming mostly from your wrist. And if you're gripping so tight that your thumb is changing color, that's too much tension. And also remember that if we pick on 1 string, we only need to move the pick a very small distance, really the thickness of the string, which is very, very small distance. That's if we're just playing on 1 string. So if you put these things into practice, you'll notice less and less tension in your picking hand over time. But there is another mistake which will make your alternate picking sound and feel bad if you don't fix it. And it makes you sound kind of like this. So one more time, this is what we're going for. And this is what we want to avoid. But this is basically unintentional staccato, and I call this the staccato trap. This happens when each note has these very short silences between the notes. So you get this kind of, instead of da 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 da, you get this kind of bet, 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 bet. It really happens by accident as you're starting to push the speed. And what causes it is your right and left hand slightly going out of sync as you're adding the speed. So you might start to hear this creep in as you're pushing the speed limits with your alternate picking lines. And the best way that I've found to combat this is to practice with a clean tone, because that allows us to hear that unintentional staccato more clearly. So we always want to listen out and make an effort to play as smoothly as we possibly can, as well as thinking about not tensing up too much. And when we do come to build speed, make sure that we do it the right way, which we're going to talk about right now. Now, the traditional method from the dawn of time would be to start playing a lick like this at around half speed or less, like so. And and then add a tiny amount of speed, like 4 beats per minute, repeat the lick at that speed until it's completely comfortable, and then in theory, you can keep doing that until you reach the goal speed. But you've probably noticed by now that by itself, this approach doesn't seem to work, and week after week, month after month, you reach the same speed where the lick slowly turns to slop the faster you try to play it. It's very frustrating. So what is the right way to build speed? Well, let's look at a simple step-by-step system to finally break through that speed wall and play this type of lick at full speed. So let's say that our goal tempo is 120 beats per minute. The first thing we need to do is get the first beat of our lick up to that tempo using a speed burst. And it's going to look and sound like this. It's essential that the first and last note land exactly on that metronome click when you're doing this. So the next step is to repeat that in every position that we're going to use in the final lick. So I want to get 4 reps in every position. That's going to look like this. Okay, that last position goes. Yeah. All right. And then the next thing is to introduce the string change, because we need to change strings at speed. So to do that, we make the last note of each burst the first note on the new string. So that's going to look like this. And so on. I won't go through every position. But again, we do want to do this for every position. Now, it's important that we don't skip this next step. We're not quite ready to tackle the full lick yet. What we need to do is go back to position 1 and work on building the endurance, right? So this is how we do that. We stay in one position and we go from doing a single beat to 2 beats, and then to 3, and then to 4, and so on. So that's going to look like this. Okay, so 1 beat. Now 2 beats. That's going to be, okay? Yeah. Now I'm going to do 3 beats. And then 4 beats. Okay, that's a full bar. Okay, so what we want to do is look at how long is the full lick, and we need at least as much endurance as is the length of the full lick. So the lick is actually 1.5 bars long, or 6 beats. So I need to get 6 beats of endurance. So let's do 6 beats. So I actually got 2 full bars there, which is like over-engineering it. And then what we're going to do is going to be very patient now. And we're going to go through every single position of the lick and make sure that we have that endurance for every position. You're tackling every technical aspect of the lick, which is difficult, separately. Okay, we're working on the speed first. Then we're working on changing strings at speed. Then we're working on the endurance. When you finally come to learn the lick, it's going to be so much faster and cleaner than you thought possible. So anyway, I will go to the second position. Make sure I have the endurance there, and I would eventually go through every single position of the lick. So now we're finally ready to start building the lick 1 beat at a time. So this is what that's going to look like. So 2 beats of the lick. Okay. Now 4 beats of the lick. And now the full lick, it's 6 beats long. There we go. Click this video next to check out the first shred lick that every guitar player should learn.